right, good afternoon. This is Neil, Wednesday midweek update. And first thing is we did get CPI today. It came in pretty hot. It was like 9.1% year over year and highest in, I guess, 40 years. And it's got go check the Fed Funds Watch tool on the CME website. You'll see that it's got near 75% expectation by the market for a full 1% hike on the next meet. In fact, that's what this candle was right there. That was a Fed's Bostic saying everything is on the table when asked if there was any consideration for the possibility of 1%. Answer: yeah, everything's consideration. So here's the deal. Since I was with you last, we had HVN and weekly pivot up here at 56. Pre-market this morning, the S&P's trading about up there, and traded both sides of it on the report this morning. Traded about 40 by 75 or something, and back into this very important. It's like weekly balance still, weekly point of control up there at 56. That's your bullish target for tomorrow. That's one of two. That and the 75, which was the CPI spike high. So you got 56 and 75 are your two bullish targets still remaining for this week. We're going to go over under at 3,800. That's the blend between today's session mid and VWAP. You got mid 98 and VWAP at about 023. So 3,800 is your line in the sand over under. And then target is going to be last week's low down. And the reason for this too, by the way, is because when this report broke this morning, there was a swift break in price all the way down to 37.50 or 52, something like that. Well, that's last year, 21-year open at 37.50. Well, that did not trade today during the RTH. We didn't trade the overnight low or the high today. It stayed inside the overnight all day today, which is kind of rare. We go through, like every day, we say, well, what did it do? What did it not accomplish? And that's one of the things that it missed that happens pretty frequently. So for and on a break, I'd be interested below that 38. I'd be interested in, price action coming off. And it can, because remember, tomorrow you got JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Taiwan Semiconductor. You got a lot of earnings. Pre-market tomorrow morning, so that could set the tone, the mood for this thing to be in a fantastic or a rather crappy mood tomorrow. Who knows? I mean, it's going to be in some of those earnings, I believe. But on a break, we're going to look for that news low, which was 37.50. Not to stop there though. That would just be something that that would be on your radar. Really though, your target down here is 37.40, last week's low. Okay, 37.50. Just know that was the news low this morning. So on a break, it would be kind of looking for that in general, but essentially down there, I would actually really be trying to hold on to would be looking for last week's low at 37.40, whatever the exact number. It escapes me. I want to say it was like 41.5. And that would be your first. That'd be your main T1. And this is not the direction I'm looking, but I got to be prepared for it. I'll tell you why too in a minute. But and then your backup and second, just like you got two on the top, you got 57 and 75 on the top, you got backup, your T2 down here is going to be this old end of quarter settle print down here at 37.25. And imagine we get to see that if it's pressing into testing, looking for that news flash low down here, and it's looking in this area. That's when you get to see a 37.25. The market, look, we discussed earlier in the week how the expected move is just not really that large, but the move was decent. but the lows are rejected and it comes all the way back up into range, like it blows off the significance of the break, right? I mean, we broke 38.50 by 37.50 on the report. That's essentially really the range. It was like 38.50 by 37.50, and what does it do? It's all the way back up here in the mid 38s. Today it traded 2 IB extensions and the daily pivot. The daily pivot was the high to the tick up here at 35. So it comes in, breaches top, not bottom, but top of the IB, trades 2 extensions, peels out one little flicker right there at the top and tags daily pivot, and then sideways into the end of the day. So bearish price reaction on the report, but the lows are just kind of, they're bought and it comes right back into range. It looks like the kind of thing that is what's going on here is, like I was saying, it's in general it's holding up essentially until you get to this expiration right at the end of the week. So if anything changes, it'll be the earnings that are right in front of us. And there's a lot. Like I said, tomorrow, J.P. Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and Taiwan Semi. And then Friday, you've got Citi, Wells Fargo, and, I don't know, United Health, U.S. Bancorp. I mean, there's quite a few on Friday as well. So, that's it. I mean, I can look at it at different angles. I mean, here's the volume profile, and it's showing balance on the week. Just there's your over under 38. POC for today, I mean, well off the lows. Goodness sakes, the lows were down 37.50. POC on the day is up at 38, almost 10. Weekly's up here at 30, 38.57. I guess we've been weekly pivot / balance HVN over under, the whole deal started the week up there. I mean, and that's where it was this morning. That was the report we did Monday, and then that's where it was this morning, Wednesday morning, still on the report. It took CPI being the worst in 40 years, the highest in 40 years or whatever, for this thing to break. And what does it do when it break? It comes right back in. So you just gotta, we really just have to know, what are the big numbers, the big targets, and try to be mindful of that, because this thing is like a ping pong match back and forth between these big prints. It's 39, 11, 12 on the top. It's 38, 56, 7 here. It's 37, 75 down here. I know you got to be tired of hearing these numbers, but it is. It's same thing. Traded a bunch of that, this morning. And then below that, you've got potential little support in last year's open there at that 37.50, but you can't ask that to keep holding. I mean, essentially, once it gets through there, it's probably looking for that higher time frame. You'd have to go back to that 2-day island balance at the bottom down there at 36.75. So top down, it's 39.12, 38.57, 37.75, and 36.75. Those are the big numbers that you have to just remain mindful of. And so I don't know what else to tell you. I think that's it. We'll leave you with this tonight. Good trade. Be ready for these earnings in the morning. I'll tell you, today, as bad as that report was, it's interesting. Since 9:30 Central Time this morning, when the equity index space traded back on an intraday chart, traded back above its mid VWAP, it maintained retracements back into VWAP all day, holding on the top side, north side of VWAP all day. Since that little, let's see if I can show you, since that little uptick right there at 9:30 and got above mid VWAP, you can see the VWAP's just like a trail all day long. It just stayed that retracement, all that was just pulled back into VWAP. So it really held together pretty well. It's going to take earnings tomorrow morning to change that. and it can, but you got targets on the top and the bottom with a whole reason as to the why for either side of it. So should be set whichever way it goes, and that's my intention. Not to tell you which way it's going to go, because of course that's a coin toss. It's going to do whatever it's going to do, and certainly nobody knows that with the magnitude of these reports that we have in the morning, potential for impact. But more importantly, to have a plan, something to target, shoot for, and an over-under in the middle that says lean long above, short below to try to reach for target. Okay, good trade. Nice evening. See you again at the next update.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me